Hi, I'm Carol O'Mara, horticulture entomologist with Colorado State University Extension here in Boulder County. It's mid-September, and that means we're going to begin that nice little tango between covering our plants and uncovering our plants as frost starts getting more and more into the predictions. I have a nice little squash vine here at my house, and the squashes are starting to mature, but they're not quite ready to withstand a blast of chilly, freezing ice on their rinds. So it's time to take a look at how to cover them in case the weather turns bad. We know about different blankets or sheets that can protect these squash from the weather. And if the weather's not going to be too wet, these are the ideal things to use when covering your squash or your tomato plants or any other plant from the weather. So if it's going to stay dry, but just get a little bit cold, go ahead and break out those sheets that you don't want anymore, or the blankets, and drape them across your plants. Here's the secret to making sure your covering is doing what you want it to do. It's not necessarily that the sheet is going to cocoon these plants and keep them warm. Instead, what the sheet is going to do is this is going to trap the heat from the soil itself. And it is the warmth coming up off the ground and trapped in by the sheet that's going to keep your plants nice and warm for a couple of degrees before that frost sets in. So, the most important thing you can do is make sure that your covering extends all the way onto the ground. Don't leave it hanging up in the air, because you really want to make a nice blanket to keep all that warm air inside. Weigh it down, because of course we do get those winds that come through, to make sure it doesn't blow off in the middle of the night. And then take it off in the morning. Taking it off in the morning is imperative because we get really warm during the day. If, however, we're starting to get like a snow squall or something that brings some moisture along with it, this sheet is actually not going to be the right choice to keep your plants toasty. Once it gets soaked, as the temperatures cool down, it's going to be like a sheet of ice. So you're going to have to protect it with a little bit of plastic. Plastic itself should be a little thicker than usual, about 6 mils, in order to withstand all we're asking it to weather out in the garden. If you have plants that are pretty sensitive and you're really trying to just get them through that one little squall that we're going to get right around the end of September, early October, and getting into that nice lingering fall, go ahead and unwrap your plastic and put it over the blanket itself. You can, if you want, put the plastic with no blanket right on top of the plants. The problem with this is if it gets really cold, when the plastic touches the leaves themselves, it will actually conduct the cold right through it. So it's perfect for adding a little bit of rain slick to the blanket itself. But if we're really expected to get cold, a plastic sheet by itself is probably not going to do the job that you hope it will do. A little bit of double duty with a sheet and the plastic to keep the plants nice and cozy is the best way to go. I hope your garden has been very successful this year. I'm Carol O'Mara, helping you to garden.